Hello everyone, this is Miao.
I'm Raul.
Today, this video, we will talk about the worst thing about China that we think the worst things. And we did a video. The first part is the best things about China. Please go check it if you are interested in. But today we only talk about the bad things.
The bad things.
In China. As a Chinese, I would have to see that there are a lot of bad things in compared to other Western countries, but it's mostly very political relevant. So I will not go deep into it because if I talk too much about it, I will not be allowed to go back to my country sometime maybe. So. The first thing that I really don't like is there are too many people. I mean, too many people, on the one hand, it means very interesting, a lot of fun to hang out with people, but on another hand is that you have to fight for the resources against so many people. For example, when we traveled in Peking, I have to fight for the tickets in the Great Wall, the tickets for Forbidden City, and tickets for the restaurants. Actually, we wanted to try Peking Enten, the real famous popular Peking Enten in Peking, and Peking hot pot, something like this. We did not even get a reservation because there's a lot of people every time waiting in front of a restaurant, and they want to eat, so we don't have choice to have a dinner or have a lunch there, so we choose the alternative restaurant instead.
Yeah, in general, as I mentioned in my last video where I talked about the Great Wall of China, like my first impression was, oh, I'm not sure if I will like this because there are so many people here.
True.
It was not possible to actually enjoy it. We had the same thing with a couple of other things that we were looking at. For example, the terracotta figures. There were so many people there at the beginning.
Yes, you have to wait kind of in the line. The people, they stand in front of you and they look at the terracottas, and the only thing that you can see is the head, head behind the person. You have to wait for it basically, and you're so surrounded by other people, and they push you, and this is kind of feeling that I really don't like.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, for me it's okay because I'm very big. I can see over the heads.
Yes, but I mean, what I mean, the resources is not only resources for tourists, but also resources for the local people there, like their children. They cannot get good kindergarten. For example, my nephew, he's already 6 years old. He could not get the best kindergarten, so to say, in his hometown. And the people, when they get ill, they cannot get the best medical resources because the best hospitals, they only located in Peking, in Shanghai, or in other mega cities. And also other things. I mean, they also fight for monies. So this will lead to my second worst thing that I don't like is that the young people, they work overtime more than 8 hours. We would say it's like 10 hours, 12 hours a day, but they don't get double paid for the overworking. They get the same salary always every month, but they have to work from I don't know, from 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock in the evening. And this is how my best friend, she also works in Shanghai now in an automobile company, and she has to work overtime every day, literally.
So it's basically
for free.
It's basically part of the culture. You don't go home before your boss goes home. Something like this.
I think this is more the culture in Japan. In our culture, it's kind of, if you don't do this job, we can find a lot of people who will do this job for free and for longer, even longer than you. So why not why we don't take another person instead of you? So it means there are too less resources and too many people. They fight for money in this way. And the positions, the jobs means money, so they are willing to work free for you for so many hours because the competitions there, you cannot imagine.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. There's like a slight difference in regards to this compared to Japan. That I can understand.
Yes, Japan is kind of like, okay, if you both don't go, you are not allowed to go earlier back home.
Yeah.
So it kind of sign that you work hard, and your wife will also not willing you to go back home so early. Oh, why you don't work so hard as other salary men? Kind of this thing.
But yeah, no matter the country, it's very high pressure then.
Yes, that's why I don't want, even if I love my country, I love everything there, but I don't want to work there. It's not very human property, appropriate job condition.
Especially compared to Germany, where workers' rights are very good in comparison.
And we get like 1 month vacation.
Yeah.
Paid vacation.
Yeah.
The third thing that I don't really like is I talked about my family members, our relationships in China. They are very close to each other. We have like not only small family, for example, your parents, your siblings, but also a bigger family, like Italian family. You have your grandma, you have your uncles, other aunties, and different nephews. I don't know, a lot of people. They are living near you, and they are all around you. So this is a very good thing. If you need support from them, if you want to have fun with them, it's very good. But in another way, it's quite annoying because they keep asking you, okay, Miao, how much you earn in your job? Okay, Miao, when will you get your boyfriend? If you get your boyfriend, they will ask, oh, Miao, when will you marry to your boyfriend? After your marriage, they will ask, oh, Miao, when will you get your first child?
And also, how much does your boyfriend make?
This, yes.
Yeah.
And what's your boyfriend family look like? How much your boyfriend family earn? This kind of whole things, they don't have the concept of privacy.
Yeah.
It's kind of they can ask you everything they are interested in, as they are just only want to talk about this kind of gossips.
Yeah. It's not like you don't get these kinds of questions in other parts of the world. There's definitely a trend of in Europe of people asking, so when do you get your first child? How is your boyfriend doing? Stuff like this. But yeah, just comparing it to you, it seems that this is more of a bigger thing in China.
Last thing I want to talk about, I think that you also still want to talk about it, is about the controls in China. Maybe I gave you a chance to talk about it.
Actually, I didn't want to speak too much about it. For one, I already talked a bit about it in another video, but also your vitamins, yeah, eat them. But also I think there were like other aspects to being in China that I found more interesting, because like the controls are somewhat known already about what they are about. So yeah, I wanted to talk about a couple of other things. For my number 1 point, for example, I noticed that there's way more plastic consumption going on in China. In every aspect of life, it seems that there's a lot more plastic involved than in countries like Germany, for example. I think like the best example for it are bottles, like drinking bottles. In Germany, there's like a system where you buy like bottles that you drink from, and afterwards you return them to the supermarket.
And you get a deposit.
And you get a bit of money back from it. Because you paid a bit more at the beginning when you bought the bottles. But yeah, it's a system that incentivizes people to not leave the plastic trash lying around, and yeah, I find that way better than in China, where this system is not really a thing. Also in supermarkets in China, you still have like these more fragile plastic bags that you most of the time use maybe one time before they break.
But not even one time before you use they get
while using them they already break. And this is also something that I'm not quite enjoying about it, because like here in Germany, for example, we have like this big and sturdy plastic bags.
And also paper, very good paper bag.
Yeah, and good paper bags. But yeah, even if we have plastic bags, they are very sturdy so that you can use them for years. And you don't need to.
And I mean, to be honest, the government, they tried a little bit to control the usage of plastic bags, and they tried to charge it, charge like 1 yuan or half yuan for it. But I don't know if they completely implemented this policy or not. Yes, but I did not pay any fee for the plastic bags. I did not see it.
It also feels like in the supermarkets, for example, with the fruits, it felt like there were a lot more fruits wrapped up in plastic, where I wasn't sure why that is the case. I think I saw that a couple of times with pomelo, for example, where it was for some reason like wrapped in a lot of plastic, which I don't understand, because the pomelo comes with a natural protection. So yeah, that was kind of weird all in all. But yeah, my second point, it is a bit tied to your first point with too many people, which is driving or traffic all in all in China. A lot of times we used taxis to drive around in the city.
It's always double time than the estimated time.
It always takes longer than estimated because of traffic, but also I am not driving, but it felt for me very stressful, because I saw the drivers drive around other cars or like try to avoid bicycles or like little scooters. And it felt always very dangerous.
and be careful, the passengers and the people who ride the bicycles, they don't have right to go first. So it means the drivers, they will not let you go first. So you have to take care of the cars around you. In
general, everybody drives a lot how they want to drive. Not looking too much at the rules of traffic, so to say. We had one situation, I'm not sure where we were driving, but our taxi driver, they just decided to drive onto the bicycle lane, basically.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, what is going on? There's a bicycle coming our way. Why are you driving on the bicycle lane? And it felt very uncomfortable to me.
At the end, the bicycle man, he had to pick up his bicycle and to move aside.
Yeah, that was definitely a weird situation. And not only with the taxi drivers, but we as a couple, we wanted to go from one place to another place, and you said, for example, hey, let's take one of those bicycles, because they are pretty cheap and you can...
The sharing bicycles.
Yeah, like these sharing bicycles. And I just didn't want to do it, especially in cities like Beijing.
Because you were afraid of losing your life.
Yeah, I was just way too afraid. In fact, I think we only used them in Shanghai, because for some reason the traffic was better in Shanghai compared to like Beijing.
That's for sure, because the streets there, they are new built and they are way wider.
So yeah, in Shanghai it was a bit better, but overall the traffic was very stressful and I feared for my life every day. So yeah, and for my third point, definitely the worst thing of all in China, the toilets.
The standing toilets.
The standing toilets. No, I would say toilets in general.
Okay.
Yeah, so with the standing toilets, it's something that it doesn't exist in Germany, for example. I think there are some countries in Europe that have them, but it's like not, it's very rare that you see them. And I think my problem in general with it is I am a person that already has knee problems. So I have a lot of difficulty of going into the position to use standing toilets. It was just very weird. I didn't understand the concept of it. I didn't know how I would begin to use them actually.
But I have to interrupt you because Chinese people, they prefer using standing toilets than sitting toilets because they think the standing toilets are more cleaner, so you don't have to contact your skin to this toilet thing. I mean, this is much better for them because they can do this. I mean, I don't know the position, the good position.
We don't show it right now. Yeah, but I think it comes back a bit to a point that we made in the last video. Maybe me as a European or as a person living in Germany, I am used to very clean toilets. So there's maybe less of a problem with actually sitting down on them. So yeah, I can understand the point of feeling that standing toilets are more clean, more hygienic. But yeah, it was still weird to me. But not only the standing toilets, also the normal toilets. Because in like homes...
The size.
In homes, you don't necessarily have like standing toilets all the time. You also have like the normal toilets. But also those for me were quite weird. Because yeah, as you mentioned, they felt in most cases too small. One thing that I remember that you said to me is like, I shouldn't put too much toilet paper into the toilet.
Oh, yes.
Because there's like a big chance that it clogs up.
Yes.
And this is something that I never have to deal with in Europe.
I try to figure out the reason why we're not allowed to throw the papers directly in the toilet and flush it away. One thing is because the paper there we use is
very thick.
Very thick than the paper here, and they are not easy to be disposed. And another way is that the canal, the
pipes.
The pipes do not as wet as here in Germany.
They are very small in comparison, and so yeah.
And you have to use it and take it out and throw it in a dustbin.
But in general, it was a thing where I didn't necessarily wanted to use a toilet when we were outside. So a lot of times I actually needed to hold everything in until we came back to the hotel, for example. And yeah, I am just no fan of Chinese toilets. Please change them for me, only for me.
That's true. Or you bring your own moving toilets.
Yeah. Something like this. But yeah, this was...
the 3 points from you.
My 3 points.
Yes, before we end up with this video, I still want to talk about the last thing about the controlling there. This is the last topic that we want to talk about because the political sensitive thing. But I am a Chinese. I was controlled from born. I mean, from birth. I was there for 22 years. I was controlled basically every day, but I did not realize how strict the control is getting nowadays, because I was 3 years not go back in China and not go travel around China, so I did not get a lot deeper feeling of the controls. But this time we traveled 3 big cities, also capital cities, Shanghai and Xi'an. I feel everywhere the control is getting strict.
Yeah.
I mean, not only the bag control in metro station, camera everywhere, surveillance camera everywhere, and even if we want to book the tickets for visiting, we have to put on our ID number, upload the ID card, photo, everywhere they just want to know more about what you are doing now. Are you doing something not allowed, which are not allowed by the party? So this was my first time to have the direct feeling, okay, that does not work and that should not be working like this way.
For me, it is a thing of, because I grew up in Europe, I'm pretty used to having open borders, very little controls overall. So yeah, when we traveled to China, I was aware that there will probably be a lot of controls. So I kind of expected it. But I guess for you, it's a thing of you lived in China and you have experienced how it was previously, maybe.
Yes.
And now that you returned after a couple of years, you have like this direct, you can compare it basically.
Yes, and usually in my thought, I would think, okay, usually the Western media, they speak it too over. I mean, whenever they talk about China, they talk about this controlling. Usually, I feel, okay, bullshit, you're just overdoing it to make more views to
antagonize.
Genau, to attract people's eyes. But this time I feel, okay, even if they overdo it a little bit, but they are talking about the truth.
Yeah, there's an aspect to it, definitely. But something that I learned from the trip overall is I want to separate political problems with, I want to separate political problems from people living there.
Yes.
Because just experiencing people living there was definitely a highlight for me. And yeah.
They are the same people as the people in the whole world, another country. So please don't have this prejudice about Chinese people. They are really irrelevant to Chinese government.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is about our 6.5 worst things in China, and hope you like it. And if you have another opinions, please leave a comments and let us know. And have a nice day. See you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.